Alright guys, welcome to this channel, and today we're going to be creating this design using Photoshop. And everything I'm going to be showing you in this tutorial, you can use it on your own designs. You can just follow the steps and watch along, and the steps are very important. And if you're new to this channel, I have a special bonus for you at the end of this video, so stick around, stick to the end. Don't forget to subscribe, to like, and to comment. Hold my hand and let's go. So the first thing we're going to do here is that we're going to create a new file, and it's going to be 180 by 1350 and 300 resolution and blah 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 blah. Just look at this, then click on create. So this is the folder that contains all what we're going to be using, and this is just like a blur, a lens, this is a frame. These are AI generated images, and in my next video I'll be showing you how you can generate images like this. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to drag in this one to our image. So we're going to drag this one in, going to drag it to our canvas like this, and we're just going to scale it. I'm going to flip it, flip vertical, flip horizontal, and I'm going to drag it, scale it up like this, like so, and I'm going to click on good. All right, then I'm going to drag in this, and what I'm going to do here, I'm going to crop this. I'm going to crop this here using my rectangular marquee tool. I'll just use my rectangular marquee tool to crop this here. I'll just hold here, from here, and I'll drag down here, and I'll have cut this here. Okay, and I'll place marks here, and I have this here. I have created this already. So what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to convert this to smart object, and I'm going to just drag this down a bit, drag this down here, and I'm going to drag this here, and I'm going to hold alt here and drag this here, and I'm going to drag it like this. Then what I'm going to do next is that I'm going to draw, let's just move this up a bit. I'm going to draw a small rectangle here using my pen tool here. I'm going to draw a rectangle here. I'm just going to create a new layer here and draw a rectangle here. I'm just going to go to my pen, using my pen tool here, P on my keyboard. Then I'll just drag here, from here, here, to here, to here, to here. I'll click here. Oh, I think this is not straight. Or rather than that, let me use my curvature tool. Let me use my curvature tool to do that. Click here and click on here, hold shift, click here, hold shift, and double click here to make this smooth. Or now double click on here, double click here to make this straight. Then I'll click on this and double click on here to make it straight. So I will zoom in here and I will adjust this using my curvature tool. I'll just adjust this here, and I think this is okay. This is okay. It's okay. And I'm going to click on shape here. Click on shape, and it automatically fills it with white. So I'm going to do the same for this place, or I'll just drag this Ctrl J here, and I'll press Ctrl T, and I'll drag this here, and I'll just scale this down, drag it here. And I'll click here. I'll make sure I want to remove the stroke. I'll just click on remove stroke here. Do the same thing for this place, and I'll remove the stroke at the edge. All right. Then this one, I was still working on this. I will zoom in here, and I will just make this simple adjustment using using this tool here. I'll just pick here, then select my curvature tool, and I will drag this here, drag this here, drag this here, drag this here, and drag this here. Okay, and I'll click on Ctrl 0 to see my full design. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to add my images, clip my images into this layer. So the next thing I'll do here is to drag in my images. Okay, click on good here, and I will just, I'll clip this to the bigger shape, to the shape one, clip this to the shape one, create clipping marks here, and I'll Ctrl T on my keyboard. All right. For the second one, I'll do it to the smaller image, and I will create clipping marks and join it here, and I will Ctrl T. Okay, next thing I'm going to do here is that I'm going to use camera raw filter to turn this. I'm going to use my camera raw filter to turn this to black and white. I'm going to go to camera raw filter. As opened, I will just zoom in to see the image here. So to change it to monochrome, and I'm going to increase the contrast just to make the image look more better, something like that. So this is that one. And I'm just going to drag this camera off it. I'll hold Alt here and drag it to this, and I will hold Ctrl Z, I'll hold Alt here, make sure I keep on holding Alt and I will drag it to this. So it applies to both this and this layers. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm under this one, I'm going to under this my first layer here. I want to add one of my adjustments, and the name of the adjustment is my color balance. So I'm just going to use my color balance to add to make it how I want it to be. I want it to have a greenish feel. So I'm going to use to balance the three, adjust the shadows, the midtones, and the highlights to make it have the green feel as I want it to be. So I'm going to change the cyan here to, set the cyan here to -21. I'm going to change the magenta here to 12. And I'm going to change the yellows here to 12. So mind you, if you move this one, if you move towards the blues, you see everything gets blue. You will see, you want to move towards yellow, everything gets yellow. You can use this where you want to like change and balance colors in your images. So I'm just going to leave this one at 12. Yeah. All right. Then I'm going to go to the highlights, and I'm going to change the highlights here to -12. And I'm going to change this one. I want it to have a greenish feel. So I'm going to change this one to +14 here. +14. I'm going to change this yellow here to 9, right? Yellow here to 9. Now we go from my midtones, go to my shadows. That's the darkest part of my design. I will make the cyan -9. I'll make the magenta here 8, and I will make the yellow here about 5. All right. So you can see I can have this greenish color here for my design. So I will pick this one and pick this one and group it, and I'll name it picture 1, and I'll pick this one and I'll pick this one and I'll group it, and I'll name it picture 2. All right, and I'll leave it as that. So the next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to drag in my second image. So because of time, I don't want to be cutting out this image because it's going to take a lot of time. It's going to take a lot of time for me to be cutting out these images. And since I've already cut it out in the design already, I need to cut it out again. But if you want to cut out your image, you're going to use your pen tool or your curvature tool. You're going to use your pen tool or your curvature tool to just pen around it and select it, then you mask it out. All right, so this is what I have here. And what I'm going to do next is that I've totally cut it out, and I'm going to drag in my other image. I'm going to drag in my other image here. This is my other image, and I'm going to drag this on top here. All right, so what I did here is that I just dragged this here, and I use my pen tool to cut out the part that I don't need. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to use my pen tool, my curvature tool to cut out the part that I don't need here. So I'm just going to select this image here. I'm going to go to my curvature tool, and I'm just going to zoom in here, zoom out here, go to my curvature tool here, my curvature tool. This is my curvature tool, something like this. And I'm just going to click here. I've selected everything. Go back to my curvature tool and click on selection here. And I will just max it out. All right, I'll press Ctrl+Shift+I, and I will max it out. So it removes the part that I don't want. So this is what I have. I hope I got this. All right, this is what I have here. I have this. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to add my coverage, my color balance here to balance the table to this wall here. So what I'm going to do is here, I'm going to go to my adjustment and click on my color balance, then clip it to this place here, clip it here. Great. So for this, I'm going to make the midtones, this to be -24, the cyan to -24. I'm going to make the magenta to be 26. I'm going to make the yellow to be 14. All right. So trying to balance this to this. So when you're using this color balance, make sure you know the color you want to achieve. You can just play around with this. So the more I drag it towards red, it becomes red. So Ctrl+Z. The more I drag this one towards green, it becomes greener. And you know it's green I'm trying to achieve here. If I break this to magenta, it becomes purplish. So you get the message, you get the idea. So that's what I'm going to be doing for this. And for this, I'm going to change it, drag this one to back yellow. And you see, what I'm trying to achieve is a bit bluish. So that's not what I want. So I'm going to work with these figures here. Okay, so we have successfully balanced this. I can see that the table and this one is balanced. Okay, and we're nearly done with the design. Design is very, very simple. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to drag in this my light here. Drag it here. I'm going to change the blending mode to screen. Just going to drag this here. All right. Then I'm going to Ctrl J it, and I'm going to drag the other one here. Alright. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the hue and saturation. I'm going to click on Ctrl U to go to my hue and saturation. I'm going to change the hue to 11. I'm going to change the lightness to about 5. Then I'm going to do the same thing for this one. I'm going to hold Alt. Don't forget to hold Alt. I'll hold Alt and drag this hue and saturation to this place. Right. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to go to add a layer mask here, add a layer mask here. Alright. Then what I'm going to do here, I'm going to use my brush tool, go to my brush tool here, make it bigger like this, and black, just drag, clean out the edges here. Clean out the edges here a bit, so you can see that it's making a bit of sense here, I'm going to go back to my white, just going to add this back a bit. Which one is this? Okay, add a bit of this. All right, okay, then go back to this one, just going to add a bit back. Remember, when you're on your layer marks, white is to reveal and black is to show. So I'm going to go to click here. Then what I'm going to do next, I'm going to be working, I think I will just move this up a bit. Then what I'm going to do here, I'm going to add a gradient color here. I'm going to add the color here. I'm going to click on this. I'm just going to add a bit of gradient above this one. I'm just going to create a new layer here, and I'm just going to go to my gradients tool, pick this color here, pick the color that I picked here, that is this color, and I'm going to drag it. Just going to drag it. Let's X here. I'm just going to drag it here. Just drag a bit of it to cover this place. So I'm going to work on this image here. This image is not too clear. Let me lock this one and lock this one. This image is not too clear, and it's not too clear. So I'm going to change it to black and white. The reason why I made the whole composition green because of this green that she's wearing. But the green is not doing well. The image is not doing well. So I just have to go to my camera and change everything to black and white. But you can also work with the green by just changing a lot of things there. So, but I found them, it wasn't still clear. The image is not still clear, so I just worked with it like that. I just worked with the image like that because the image is not too clear. So, but I just have to change it to black and white. So I increased my sharpening, my detail. I increased my sharpening. Then I went to basic. I increased the contrast. I increased the texture. Normally, I increased the clarity. You can see that the image is having all these like other colors are beginning to, I'm not just satisfied with it. Then go back to this, I'll increase the noise reduction and the color noise reduction. Then I think I'm okay like this. Okay like this. All right. Okay like this. Okay. Then I'll change it to monochrome. Just to avoid all those stuff. I'll just take it like this. Change the monochrome. And what I'll do, I'm going to drag this and make sure it's twice. So you can have two camera raw filter layers just by clicking on this and dragging it up like this. You have double camera raw filter layers. See, it makes it like more rigid. But I think I'll work with two. I'm going to add camera raw filter to this. I want to make this image to be better. I think I will still clean this. So the next thing I'm going to do here, I'm going to add my text. So the first text I add is like, I added happy birthday. Sorry, the font is Isidora Sans, and the font is in the description below. You can download it from there. The font is in the description below. So I'm just going to put it there, and I'll take it under this layer. All right. So the color I use for this is, I use this color A8944B, and I think I did a little bit of blending mode to this. So I just blended it. Blend it gray, just work with this, drag this to the left and drag it to the right so that it will not look as if it's just plastered there. So I drag this out and just just blend it into the image like this. So that's what I did for that. Okay, I'm going to duplicate this, so to show more, and I'm going to select these ones here. I'm going to group it. I'm going to write date. And I will lock this, and I will lock this, and I will lock this, and I will lock this. So the next step for me to do here is to add in my text effects. Sorry, I want to add a curves layer to this to make this a bit darker and lighter. So I'll go to here and I'll add my curves layer. Go here, add curves layer, and I will just play around with my curves. Make this a little bit dark, and make this a little bit light in some parts here. I'm just going to add an S curve, just to add a bit of depth to this. All right, All right, okay. I think I like the curve, what the curve did here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in my text effect. So I'm almost rounding up with this. I'm going to add in my text effect. So I'm going to go to my layer here. I'm going to double click on this, my shining gold text effect. I'm going to double click on it here. So when it opens, you're going to go to this layer here, and the name of the font I used is Understanding, and you can download it from the link in the description below. So I'm just going to write happy here. Centralize this, and I'm going to close this. Now click on it. Right, I'm going to remove this black layer and convert this edition to a smart object. All right, and I'm going to drag this here, duplicate, and take it to on my untitled one here. Right, I'm going to bring it up here, bring it above this layer here. I'm going to change the size. So I'm going to close this. I'm going to open it again here. I'm going to go back again. I'm going to write birthday. The font I use for this is Understanding, not this font too. I think I didn't change the font. You want to hide the black layer and convert this to smart objects. Alright, I'm going to duplicate this to my first layer. Good. I'm going to go to the first one here. Let's drag this one here. This is the first one. I'm going to change this happy. I'm going to change the font name. Alright, so I have this and this. So I'm just going to make this a bit smaller here, like so. Alright, make this a bit smaller, like so. Alright. Leave this here. Lock this in. I think I will make this. I think I will add a little bit of this. Add more. No. Okay, I think I'm okay like this. So what I'll do like this, I'll create this layer here and I'll just blend mode like this. Just clean a bit out of it. I think I'm not satisfied. I'll just walk around this. I'll go to this layer and I'll just paint some part of it black. This here. Paint part of it white. The under. X. So cover this place here. Good. Cover this place here and I'll bring this back here. So I have this now. And what I wrote here, I wrote the Isiye Adeboye at the back down here. Right, click here, Ctrl T, and I'm going to drag this down here. Okay. I'm just going to give this a bit of space here, breathing space. Right, we have this now. So the name of this one is Isidora Stars Medium, and I just increase the tracking here, and the size about 4.98 points. All right, so I think that almost does it. All right, for here I'll add in a new layer. I'm just going to add like lights to the subject. Add 2 new layers. Now Ctrl X here. Now this is my color that I used here. This is my color that I used here. I'm going to add it to these layers. I'm going to paint in some imaginary lights to this place. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to click on Alt Backspace here. Then leave this one as normal. I'll add this one as normal. I'll change this one to color dodge here. Then I'll add the layer max here. Add the layer max to this place. Now click this to this, click this to this. Then I'll click on Ctrl Shift I to invert, Ctrl I to invert, and Ctrl I to invert here. Alright, so for this, I'm just going to paint in by the edge. Use my brush tool and make sure my brush is on my soft round brush. Make sure my soft round brush here, and I'll make my flow to be about 23%. I'll leave my flow like that. I'll just adjust my flow as with my discretion. I'm just going to paint in the edges here. Alright, paint a little bit of the edges here. Then for this, I'm just going to reduce the brush size. I'm just going to paint around the subjects like this. I think that does a bit of justice to this. I think that does a bit of justice to this. All right, let me zoom in so that I can see very well. And this, I'm just going to reduce this a bit. Be on my keyboard. Just going to reduce this a bit. All right. And go back to my white. I'm going to paint here a bit. X. Remove a bit. So I'll go back to this place and to my color dodge layer and paint a bit. Just paint it with your discretion. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to double click on this and I go to my blend if, and blend if gray. I'm going to go to my underline layer and just going to drag this here. Make sure I blend it into my layer here. Right, blend it a bit inside. Blend it into my subject like that. I'm going to do the same for this. I'm going to blend it a bit like this. All right, so you can see the difference between it now. At least there are some atom of the light on it. I think I'll reduce the blend of this. You can see that there are some atom of the light on this one. So guys, we have come to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. So my bonus for the new viewers is for you to join my WhatsApp and Telegram channel so that you can get access to lots and lots of creatives. You can collaborate, you can share your ideas, you can share your designs, and we'll critique, we'll comment, and we just get better overall as creatives. So thank you so much for watching. Click on this video to watch, click on this video to watch, and I will see you in the next video. Don't forget to like, to subscribe, and thank you very much for watching, and bye bye.